Hi guys, in this video we'll continue discussing about classes and we'll get our feet wet and see how we can implement classes in real-time programs using Code Sculptor. Note that in the previous video I had discussed how we implemented the basic classes that we are going to use within this code. Before we begin, I strongly urge you to download all the codes that I have provided that will be used within this video. So let's get started. This was the original game that we created, which was known as Bounce, and we simply declared some functions and called them to use them within our game. So in this video we'll talk about how we can implement the same concept using classes. So let's start and see how we can implement these classes within our code. So as you can see that we have copy and pasted the original variables that were present in our previous code, as well as the basic commands about creating the frame and starting the frame. So let's see how we can implement a simple class within our code and get started. So let's create a class for the graphic that we'll use within our game, and let's create a background image and see how we can implement that within our game. So we start by declaring a graphic class, and what we'll do is we'll use the draw image method to draw the image on the canvas. So before we start doing this, what we need is to define the method. So we'll say draw background image. This will be our method, and it will take two parameters, which are self and the canvas. So we'll draw the image, and the first parameter that this method takes is the image, and then 4 sets of coordinates that we are going to use within our game. So let's define those coordinates. And now we are declaring the coordinates for the canvas. So width by 2 and height by 2. And then width, comma, height. So there we have it. We have defined the graphic class that we are going to use within our code, as well as we have defined a method within that class that will draw the background image on the screen. So the next thing we need to do is define an object for this class. So let's call the object as graphics, which will be an object for the graphic class. So let's run the code and see if we get any errors. Oh, we got an error. It says the error is we have declared a draw handler, but we have not defined the draw handler. So we need to define the draw handler as well. So we define the draw handler. Note that all the handlers we are using within our code will be declared outside of the classes. And then we can call the methods of the classes we are going to use within these event handlers that we are going to use within our code. So while defining our draw method, we'll pass it a parameter of canvas, and then what we do is we call the background image method corresponding to the graphic class. So how we do that? The syntax for that is object.methodName. So the object of the graphic class is gfx, and the method that we are calling is background image, and this will take canvas as the parameter. So now if we run our code, we'll see that the background image appears on the screen. And there we have it. We have simply implemented a class and a method within that class, and using in the draw method we have called the method for the graphic class. So we have a basic image. So now we can build upon these steps and implement the ball class and the paddle class. So let's see what we have in this Code Sculptor code. So refining and building upon the code, you can see that I have simply implemented the paddle movement and drawn the ball on the canvas. So as you can see, we have defined the ball image as a method within the class ball, and then we call the ball image method that draws this ball on the canvas. Similarly, for the paddle, we have initialized some variables, and then we've drawn the paddle and checked the corresponding key presses to move the paddle. Notice that while I was building this code, I kept that original code running, and this is the method that you should follow. In the steps that I have provided, I have simply made the basic game, got it working, added something, got it working, and this is the method that we need to follow to move upon the code. Excuse me. So in this method, we continued on our code and we got the basic of the class working. So in this method, you can see that the ball is also bouncing on the screen. So let's see our original code and see what we implemented in this function of the class. You can see that we added some other methods within a class of ball like spawn ball function. We added the update function within the class as well as collision detection for the classes. And of course, when the ball is missed, we need to call the new game method. So all these updates are taking place within the draw handler, and what we are doing within this draw handler is we are calling the corresponding methods relating to that class, and we have declared the objects of these classes. And similarly, in the next iteration, what we have done is we have added upon this previous code, and we have added a class known as text. So in this video, now we have text updates of the game. So I'll talk about what special effects we have done within the text class. We have initialized some of the variables. Sorry. We draw the score and the draw multiplier method within our draw class, and then we simply call those methods in the draw handler. Similarly, we have defined an object for the text class, and in this way we can continue to make our game. That's it. Thank you.